Alright, here we are for warm-up routine 1. Um, Before you begin any practice session or before you begin playing, always tune. You don't have to have a physical tuner because there's plenty of places to tune online, but it is a good tool to have, and not everybody's always in front of their computer. So tune up before you start playing. Um, it just sounds a lot better. The second tool that you might want to consider purchasing or having around the house is a metronome. Now the metronome keeps a beat for us. If I turn it on, we've got a click for each beat. And we also, for this model, we have the light lights up too. It gives us a visual cue. Songs can be have different tempos. This is at 60 beats per minute, and this is what we'll be playing our exercises in, starting out at least. But we can go all the way up for a faster tempo, all the way up to 208 beats per minute. A really fast song would be at 208 beats per minute. Now for our exercises, we're going to be playing straight eighth notes. Now if you look at your music, in exercise 1, you'll see the tab at the bottom. It has the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's telling us what frets to play. But it doesn't really tell us how long to hold those notes for, and that's what the music staff is good for. And for our purposes as a guitarist, we can look up there and you'll see 4 groups of notes connected by a bar at the top. Now those are eighth notes, so those are 2 notes per beat, and we can count them like so. Instead of just going 1, 2, 3, 4, in between the beats we're going to say and so each note is going to be even, so keep that in mind. So this is a perfect warm-up exercise to work on your timing if you can't quite get it right. It goes like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you notice the motion of my hand as I did that. On the 1 I went down, and on the end I went up. And we can replicate that with our picking. If we're picking single note lines, we can use what's called alternate picking. Down, up, down, up, down, up. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and also we can use that in our strumming. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now for exercise 1, I'll get my metronome started here and we'll play through it at 60 beats per minute. I'll count it off 1, 2, 3, 4. And probably I'll go ahead and say the end in between because I think that'll get you prepared to play. I'll 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we'll begin the exercise. Alright, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now if that is too fast for you, feel free to slow it down a little bit. That is considered very slow. So 60 beats per minute, if you cannot quite do that yet, is an excellent goal for you. Now if we move on to exercise 2, we're going to use our first and second fingers to play this. And it's straight eighth notes again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now the second half of exercise 2, you'll notice we're playing the same thing we just did, but we're going to use a hammer-on and pull-offs instead of picking every note. So in essence, we're going to pick every other note. And it goes like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... And what you want to be sure to do with this exercise and exercise 3, 4, and 5 with those hammer-ons and pull-offs, really try to get that hammer on, that note that you're hammering on. What you want to do is really focus on really getting that note to ring, and not something like, you know, something like that where you just end up killing the note altogether. And the same with the pull-offs. You don't want to just pull straight off. You want to kind of pull off at an angle and really get that note to sound. And if you're having trouble doing it, it's something really great to practice. And you will definitely feel it in your fingertips, and your hands might start cramping up, but that's okay. That's part of the process. Alright, here we are, exercise 3. Let's try exercise 3. It's similar to the last exercise, except this one we use our first and our third finger. Alright, let's begin. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Alright, moving on to exercise 4, which we'll use our first and fourth finger. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... These exercises really don't make much musical sense in the fact that they don't really sound like a song, and of course they're not supposed to. So don't let that deter you. Now, in exercise 4, you notice that the hammer-ons and pull-offs really get kind of hard to do because you really got to get enough momentum in that pinky finger, and you can't really miss it, or you won't sound the note. So that's a great little warm-up, and it's a great way to utilize your pinky and your playing, because I know a lot of guys who just don't even use their little finger, and that's sad because there's a lot of stuff that you can't do without it, believe it or not. Alright, exercise 5. We're going to do kind of a little bit of a reversal of what we did in exercise 2. We're going to play with our first and second finger. We're going to play kind of a backwards pattern, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and then we'll begin the second half pulling off first and then hammering on. So it's just a little twist. So let's go ahead and get our metronome started, and we'll proceed. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Let's play the second half. Remember, we're going to pull off going up, and then we're going to hammer off going down. So it's a little weird, but a great little exercise. Okay, on the count of 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Alright, for our last exercise, we're going to, it's kind of a chord exercise and a finger strength exercise. It's the finger bar exercise. And this is great for building up strength to play things like bar chords and building up stamina in your fingers for that kind of thing. And we'll also be able to work on our strumming a little bit too. We're going to play again at 60 beats per minute, starting out. I'm going to count, on the count of 4, we're going to play straight eighth notes. What we're going to do is bar our finger on the first fret, all across all 6 strings. Let me turn the metronome off real quick. All 6 strings. We're going to play that for, and again, it doesn't sound like anything. It's not supposed to sound like a song, but we want all 6 strings to sound out when we press down. And we don't want to pile our fingers on top of each other or do anything crazy to hold that down. We just want the strength to come in our first finger, not anything else. And if you can't do it quite yet, and that's why we're practicing, that's why we're doing this exercise, because it really will strengthen your finger up. There's lots of stuff you can't do, like bar chords, without having that finger strength. And a lot of people, even myself included, if I play a few bar chords in a row, you know, my hand sometimes gets tired. So an exercise like this will really help you. We're going to just simply, again, first fret, 1 and 2 and we're just going to keep going up the fretboard. We're going to play it 4 times, eighth notes, 4 eighth notes in a row, move up a fret, and we're just going to keep doing that until we get sick and tired of it. I'm going to start the metronome again, and we'll play through it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and as you go up, you will see great improvement in the structure of your finger, in that you will have indentations from those strings, and your finger is going to be a little sore. And again, if you can't quite get it, don't worry, just keep working on it, because it's just like lifting weights. You know, you can't expect to go in lifting 300 pounds on the first day. It's just not going to happen. So that finger strength comes in time. And what's happening is it's conjunction with the finger and our thumb, and we're kind of creating a vice, a little vice-like grip. That finger's got to be nice and straight, and that thumb, we're going to use it on the back side of our guitar to really grip it. Now, you don't have to grip it tighter than needed, and that means that you only need to grip it as tight enough to sound all 6 strings clearly. Now, with this warm-up routine, you should practice it every day, the same exercises, but each day you need to set a new goal. If, for example, the previous day you played at 60 beats per minute, on the next day try to go to 62 or 63 beats per minute, just a little bit faster. And then, you know, hopefully by the end of the week of it, you know, you'll see a jump from maybe 60 beats per minute to maybe 70-something beats per minute. A lot of people want to cheat and convince themselves, you know, not cheating on purpose, but they convince themselves that they have the exercise done at that tempo and they move it up, but they're not realizing that, you know, they're making lots of mistakes, or some of the notes aren't sounding, or they're rushing certain parts. So it might be good for you to maybe do a slight recording of you playing through the exercises, and then listen with a critical ear to see if you're hitting every note, what the weak spots are, because you don't want to move on, you don't want to bump that tempo up until you can play it right at the tempo you're at. So when you get to 60 beats per minute and you're happy with your results, you have to bump it up just turn that knob and play a little faster the next day. Now, you don't want to start your practice or warm up on a new tempo when you start the next day. So go ahead and start a little slower, work up to where you were, and then try to surpass it. And over time, I think you'll see that you'll build your speed and you will improve your timing. So that's about it for our first warm-up routine. I hope you have fun with it and keep it practicing. At least 10 minutes, try to. If you're working on a short practice schedule, you might have to bump that down a little bit. But this warm-up routine is going to help you improve that timing and speed, so do spend some time with it. I suggest for a good warm-up at least 10 minutes at the beginning of your practice. And if you have more time, a little more than that, and that will allow you to build up a little bit more speed a little quicker. So that's all for now, and we'll see you later.